All right, guys, wanted to take a few minutes to go over a week of programming that we had about a month ago. This is one that Coach Jim put together. So I went ahead and wrote everything up here Monday through Friday on the whiteboard. If you do recall, one of the things that Jim said that he wanted to kind of get us into this week, his focus was on lifting a little bit more towards the heavy side. So you'll see on some of the workouts themselves, the loading was just a little bit heavier than I think most people were used to. So that goal was certainly accomplished. So we're just going to take it day by day. I'm going to give you my thoughts overall, maybe give you a couple of tips and pointers, things to look out for, things to think about, and then we'll see where next week takes us whenever I go over the next person's programming. So Monday, we had a weightlifting movement lead off with a heavy single clean. Took 20 minutes to work up to that. 20 minutes is always a good time domain to give people enough chance to go through some warm-up sets, work on their technique with the heavier ones, and then work up to a heavy single clean. Remember, a lot of times we don't tell people 1 rep max. We work for a heavy single just because it implies that we're trying to focus more so on getting the form and the technique really, really good, as opposed to just focusing on beating a previous record. A lot of times people become anxiety-ridden whenever they think, oh my goodness, it's a 1 rep max day, I've got to beat my previous number. And so heavy single clean to lead off with. And then we had a nice little task priority workout, 3 rounds for time with some power cleans, front squats, and a little bit of running. Everyone finished this one right kind of in that need of, typical CrossFit triplet, 10 to 15 minute time domain. Really good workout, a nice combination of what I would argue is a lower body pulling movement with the power clean, a lower body pushing movement with the front squat, and then we've got a nice little moderate monostructural movement in the run there. So just enough time to kind of catch your breath, go back into it, and hitting those good. So that was a good Monday workout. Tuesday, we led with a gymnastics skill progression. We really hammered people on their muscle up technique, driving home the important points of the turnover that day. While we do not have a huge contingent of people that have muscle ups here, just the general practice of improving coordination in something like the muscle up, taking a couple of pieces of movements and putting them together, we've noticed that it has translated well to coordination of other movements. So coordination of the kip, of the double under, things like that. So even if their goal is not to get a muscle up, we found that just the skill work in general is really good just to help them work on their coordination. And then we had a good little workout here, a little chipper, started with a 400-meter run buy-in, and then we had everything from double unders, wall balls, push-ups, split jumps, burpees, and then finishing with a muscle-up if you could get that far. We time capped this one at 25 minutes, didn't have anybody get there, but we did have a nice wide range of scores here. Good little chipper, got the heart rate going, good little upper-lower, push-pull action going on there. Pretty straightforward though. Moving on to Wednesday, we went back to a weightlifting movement. Heavy single power snatch. We were very, very diligent on making sure that people caught that with the arms straight, no press outs or anything like that. That's always a issue that we have whenever we go to a power snatch and allow that. We don't want that press out. And then we had a fun little classic couplet, 21-15-9 hang snatches, fairly lightweight, and chest to bar pull-ups for those that can do those. If not, it was chin over the bar or some other scaled option. Really fun little burner workout. The quickest was right in the 8-minute range. Some people probably challenged themselves a bit too much trying to do the chest to bars instead of kind of trying to preserve that stimulus of the workout. But I think they learned their lesson there. If they didn't, they certainly did here on Thursday. That's what the R stands for. We went back to a little gymnastics skill progression here with the handstand push-up, making sure people understood head position, hand position, where they're looking, what they're supposed to feel, and just in general, some people getting them comfortable being upside down. Nice little 15-minute triplet, handstand push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups. So we've got a nice little upper body workout here today with an upper body pushing movement, upper body pulling movement, and then some sit-ups. Sit-ups were really just kind of a placeholder in this one. Really fun workout though. Everybody got kind of held up in one spot. And then on Friday, if you can see this far, we led off again, keeping with Jim's theme of some heavy weightlifting elements. Took 20 minutes to work up to a heavy single overhead squat, which worked out well. And then we had this little workout over here. It was a 20-minute piece, but it was broken into 2 10-minute sections. A little 10-minute EMOM of snatch balances and burpees. and then a 10-minute AMRAP of deadlifts, which were super light because we were going off of 65% of your overhead squat, 15 toes to bar, and a 200-meter run. Overall, very balanced in terms of weightlifting, gymnastics, monostructural work. You can see Monday, Wednesday, Friday, he had a weightlifting element to lead off. Tuesday, Thursday, balanced that off really well, some good gymnastics work. So overall, I think the programming was pretty solid. I liked the goal that he kept in terms of keeping stuff relatively heavier, a little bit heavier than most people are used to. The only concern that we had with this week, honestly, guys, was we had chest to bar pull-ups on Wednesday, and then we had a pretty upper body pull with more pull-ups on Thursday. Is that necessarily a bad thing to have the same movement back to back? No, because remember, we're going for general physical preparedness here. And in life, sometimes you're going to have to do the same thing repeatedly over and over and over. So to see that pop up every now and then, is that a bad thing? No, but it would be it would not be a hallmark of good programming to have 2 days of pull-ups or 2 days of push-ups or something like that is pretty taxing locally on the body. So just something to watch out for. Again, not necessarily a knock on it, but just an observation. Building on top of that, so we've got upper body pull Wednesday, upper body pull Thursday, and then we also had some upper body pull with the toes to bar on Friday. So 3 days of that. I actually did this whole week, and I didn't feel any latent soreness from any of these days when I got the toes to bar. I heard a couple of athletes say it. Really the biggest concern here was condition of their hands. So if they did this one, and then finished it off, that's a lot of work on their hands 3 days in a row. But again, it's something that they need to get conditioned for, and if they pay attention and hold onto the bar the right way, we really shouldn't see their hands too terribly beat up. The one kind of knock on this week that we found out at 5:30, Heather did really quickly, was this fun little supposed to be 10-minute EMOM piece of snatch balances and burpees. Was just not well designed, but we quickly figured it out, and what we had people doing was on 1 minute 5 snatch balances, on another minute 5 burpees, or they had the option of every 2 minutes they could do their 5 and 5 and then rest until the next 2-minute cycle. Overall, very good, well balanced week. Like I said, we had some couplets, couplet here, couplet there, triplet, a nice little chipper, a range of time domains here. We went from 20 down to the 8-minute mark, so that was good. Good balance, weightlifting, monostructural, gymnastics. Overall, a great fun week of programming. I actually did this full week, Monday through Friday. Of course, felt great after it. And if you got questions, just post them in the comments. Thanks.
That was good.